The Jungle of Giggles was preparing for the annual Sparkle Festival. All the animals were busy making beautiful decorations. Even grumpy Mr. Prickles, the porcupine, was helping, though he kept jabbing his friends with his quills by accident. But Bholo the Monkey wasn't interested in decorations or festivals. He wanted to play a prank on everyone. As he sneaked behind the big waterfall, an idea popped into his head. Hey, I'll make this waterfall sparkle. But how? Suddenly, he spotted a glint of green under a rock. He jumped into the water and pulled out a strange hat. It glowed softly, and Bholo couldn't resist. He put it on his head. Poof! It felt cozy and tickly, and Bholo started to giggle uncontrollably. Ha ha ha, what a funny hat. But then he noticed something. His fur wasn't brown anymore. It was green, like the hat. And his tail, instead of being thin and long, was now bushy and short. He rushed to the riverbank and saw a monkey with green fur and a bushy tail staring back at him. Bholo screamed, "Help! Who are you?" The monkey blinked. He didn't recognize himself. He looked at the hat in Bolo's hand and shouted, "Hey, give me that back!" "It's mine." Then he ran away. What was happening? And where was Bolo's body gone? Shocked and scared, Bholo took off the hat and threw it into the bushes. The moment it touched the ground, poof, he turned back into a monkey. But he was no longer the same Bholo. He was smaller, fluffier, and he couldn't stop shivering. He tried to climb a tree, but his hands slipped. He tried to holler for help, but his voice came out as a squeak. Bholo was terrified. He wandered through the jungle, meeting the animals he had once teased. Gayu. The elephant trumpeted hello, but Bholo couldn't answer. Mithu the parrot sang a cheery song, but Bholo just whimpered. The crocodile opened its wide jaws in a friendly smile, but Bholo squealed and ran away. Everyone was confused. What had happened to the funny, cheeky monkey? Why was he so small and scared? Poor Bholo didn't know what to do. He missed his old life, being big and strong, and the king of jokes. Most of all, he missed his friends and family. He sat under a bush, feeling sorry for himself. But then he heard a soft sniffle. He peeked out and saw a tiny spotted deer, no bigger than Bholo, crying under a tree. "Why are you crying?" Bholo asked gently. The little deer lifted her head. "I can't go to the Sparkle Festival tonight. I'm too small, and I don't know the way." Bholo looked at the deer, then at the hat in his hand, and an idea popped into his head. Maybe, just maybe, he could fix his problem and help the deer at the same time. He put on the hat. Poof! He grew big again. Taking a deep breath, he said to the deer, "Hop on my back, little one. I'll take you to the festival." She smiled, climbed on, and Bholo walked confidently towards the lights and music in the distance. They walked past Gayu, the elephant, and Bholo said, "Gayu, bye. I want to show you something hilarious. Look, this deer is riding my back like a horse." Gayu laughed and trumpeted happily. Soon, they reached a group of monkeys playing near the river. Bholo called out, "Hey, guys, come see the new style of riding we learned in the Jungle of Giggles." And before he knew it, Bholo was surrounded by his friends and family. He took turns giving everyone a ride on his back. They swung and giggled as they zoomed through the jungle. Bholo was so happy. Being little wasn't so bad after all. He could be strong and brave and help his friends. And the deer. Well, she had the best time ever, laughing and playing until the moon hid behind the clouds. When the first rays of sunlight touched the trees, Bholo took the hat off. "Thank you," the deer whispered, nuzzling his leg. "You're welcome, little one. Have a wonderful day." And off she ran. Bholo watched her go. Then he turned back to the monkeys. He was supposed to be making fun of them, but instead he couldn't help cracking a smile. They were having so much fun. And for the first time in a long time, Bholo the monkey didn't feel like playing a trick on anyone. He wanted to join his friends and have a good time. So he joined the monkeys and the other animals in decorating the trees with colorful flowers and sparkling lights. He even helped Mithu the parrot hang shiny bells on the branches. And Gayu, the elephant, splashed water on the decorations, making them sparkle like 1,000 stars. As the night wore on, the Jungle of Giggles became a magical place. The banyan tree twinkled with lights. Funny faces grinned from behind the bushes. And everywhere you heard laughter and singing. Bholo looked around, his cheeks hurting from smiling. This was what he loved the most. Being with his friends, making the jungle beautiful, and bringing joy to everyone around. But as the music swelled and the animals started dancing, Bholo felt a pang in his chest. Where was the hat? If he couldn't find it, someone else might pick it up and use it for mischief. He didn't want that to happen. Suddenly, he remembered. He had thrown it under the waterfall. Pushing through the tall grasses, he reached the waterfall. There, under the sparkling curtain of water, was the green hat. Bholo quickly picked it up. He needed to hide it somewhere safe, somewhere nobody would find it. But where? As he looked around, his eyes fell on the old hollow tree where all the animals gathered at night. It was big, dark, and nobody ever went inside. Carefully, he put the hat in the entrance, pushed it in with a twig, and covered it with leaves. Then, he hurried back to the party. He couldn't believe he had almost ruined his friend's celebration with his silly prank. He wanted to apologize. First, he went to Gayu, the elephant. Gayu, bye. I'm sorry, I poured mangoes on your head this morning. It wasn't funny. It's all right, Bholo, the elephant rumbled with a smile. Friends can tease each other sometimes. Next, Bholo found Mithu, the parrot, preening his feathers. Mithu, I'm sorry, I interrupted your song with the purple ears. You sing beautifully. The parrot ruffled his feathers and said, Thank you, Bholo. I'm glad you liked it. Then he flew away to finish decorating the trees. Finally, Bholo approached the wise old turtle. Omi Kaka, can you please help me? I need to talk to all the animals about tomorrow's festival. The turtle nodded and called all the animals together. When they were all gathered, Bholo said, Tomorrow is the Sparkle Festival, a time for friendship, laughter, and kindness. I want us all to remember that being different is what makes us special. Whether we're big or small, slow or fast, furry or scaly, we're all friends here in the Jungle of Giggles. And true friends look out for each other, help each other, and make each other laugh. So let's make this the best Sparkle Festival ever, he finished, his voice echoing through the jungle. All the animals cheered, and Bholo felt a warmth inside that had nothing to do with the hat. He had learned something important. Being a good friend was much more fun than being the funniest monkey in the jungle. The next day, the Sparkle Festival was everything Bholo had hoped for. The animals paraded through the jungle, showing off their talents and making each other laugh. Gayu, the elephant, sprayed water from his tusks, making funny faces. Mithu, the parrot, sang with all his might. And Bholo, well, he just smiled and clapped, enjoying the company of his friends. When the sun set and the stars twinkled, they all danced under the banyan tree. Bholo looked at the happy faces around him and realized the secret of the Jungle of Giggles. It wasn't just the trees, rivers, or animals that made it special. It was the laughter, kindness, and friendship. And he was part of it all. As the night deepened, Bholo snuggled close to the other monkeys, feeling warm and fuzzy inside. He didn't need a magic hat to be happy. He had his friends and the Jungle of Giggles. And that was all the magic he needed.